look at that picture. Oh my god, it's so cute. Okay. Okay, I'm officially freaking hyped up for Act 2. Oh my god. That cut, like, you know, that's like cutscene kind of. I don't know. I feel like in most in the Rin route, it didn't make much sense at the point. You know, I think in hindsight, if I were to look at it now, it would make a lot more sense to me. But at that point when I saw it, it just didn't make much sense to me. It was just kind of like, yeah, look into Rin's mind, which we didn't understand much at that point. But here, because this is more of a normal route, I guess, you can actually see like some sort of clues of perhaps what might be coming up within the next couple of acts in this route. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to what's going to happen in act number 2. Oh my god. I wake up to the annoying din of my alarm clock. Its bright red numerals lighting up my face. It's the same alarm clock I had at home, one of the few remaining artifacts from my days before coming to Yamaku. I'd hoped that using it would help ease my transition into this new life. No such luck though. Groggily dragging myself out of bed, I wipe the sleep out of my eyes, then reach over to my desk. I open a couple of the bottles of medication strewn across it, and swallow a few pills dry. By now, the process is starting to become automatic, something I should be glad for, given their purpose. Feeling much more awake than before, I wander into the bathroom. Whenever this picture still haunts me. Like, to this day, I know it's been a long time since we saw Kenji naked in here, but for some reason, whenever I just see this image, and even when Kenji is not here, you know, when it's just empty like this, it still brings me back to those moments, like, you know, like, just flashbacks that war heroes get. They're like, oh no, oh no. Like, I just get that and then zoomed into Kenji's elephant. Oh god, no. While the shower warms up, my mind begins to wander as my new daily routine begins once again. The bright colors of the fireworks fill my mind, as do the two girls with whom I spend my time watching them. It feels strange to be moved so much by people I know so little about. Then again, I suppose these aren't normal circumstances. At least I have someone to talk to now, aside from my schoolmate next door. With the time left before school begins today waning, I begin to get ready for class. Walking through the door into the classroom, I notice that I'm still somewhat early. I see about 5 or 6 other students milling around, most of them looking as if they'd rather be still in bed. The funny thing, if those people are like, you know, usually aren't like the cheery people and are happy to be at school, aren't they the early ones? And then the people who are still like, oh my god, please, I want to go back to bed. And they like still half asleep. Shouldn't they still be in their bed? It's at times like this that I appreciate being a morning person. That said, 2 students in particular seem just as perky as always. Hi Shizune. Hi Misha. I suddenly realized that my greeting would be lost on the former, so I quickly followed it up with a wave. She doesn't seem overly bothered, or interested for that matter.
Hello, Hee-chan. Are you feeling well?
I can only assume her greeting comes from Shizune. It's hard to tell if she's speaking as herself, or Shizune sometimes. Better than most everyone else, I guess. You two seem bright and chipper. Misha assigns this back to Shizune as I say it, eliciting a somewhat terse answer, if her sharp and rapid arm movements are any indication. Considering that these two make such a big deal out of the festival preparations, I probably should have chosen my words more carefully.
Since you're a new student, we've been cutting you some slack. Please don't expect this kind of task dodging to be allowed in the future.
Misha looks as if she's about to add her own comments, but quickly goes back to interpreting as Shizune continues, unabated.
While your contribution to Class 3-2 stall is appreciated...
Huh? Word sure got around quickly. That, or these two, have their fingers on the pulse of the school.
We would prefer your efforts to be focused on the task at hand. Namely your own class.
As much as I hate to admit it, they do have a point. Before I can respond though, Shizune adds something more, which draws a smile from Misha.
Did you enjoy the festival then?
Lecture over, I guess. Yeah, it was good. Did you two enjoy it? Shizune gives a short nod as Misha grins and bounces her head up and down. The contrast, side by side, is amusing. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice more students starting to trickle into the classroom. A quick glance at my watch confirms that they are a few minutes late. Hanako. I look over to Hanako's seat and I realize that she's already there and contentedly reading a book. It makes me wonder just how long she's been there without me noticing. That's the fun thing about this route so far, is that, you know, in any of the 2 other routes that I've played so far, you can clearly see that like certain students are like coupled together, or that they're mixed in a sort of group, and that if you play both the Misha Misha route, that's like the only, out of all the girls, that's the only route that you actually can't have for an individual character. But for the Emi route or the Rin routes, I mean, you could perhaps have some interaction early on with Hanako in Act 1, but that's not how I played Act 1 in my recordings. So we had like almost none interaction with Hanako whatsoever. But now that we're playing in the Lilly route, there's actually a lot of interaction with Hanako. So that's fun as well, you know, just getting to know a new character, especially even if we're getting to know her a little bit. As you know, just getting to know like how we should perhaps act around her, or what she's scared of, what she isn't scared of, you know, because she's still that scared, precious little lamb in my mind, because that's all I know about her, or at least that's all I thought I know about her before, and now it's a little bit different. But you know, it's good to start to know those things about her, because especially we're going to be playing the Hanako route after this, and then I feel like, yes, I'm prepared. With heavy footsteps coming up the hallway, signaling Muto's arrival, our idle talking comes to an end, and I take my seat next to Misha. As the door slides open, he strides through with a ponderous gait. His posture is even worse than usual, and his eyes are barely staying open. I guess my quip to Lilly and Hanako about the staff was misplaced. Everyone opens their books as he reaches his desk, and the first class of the new week begins. I rub my eyes as the lunch bell rings out, glad for the temporary reprieve from work. I'm entirely unsurprised when I look over to the door and see Lilly standing there, cane in hand, patiently waiting for Hanako. Considering her acceptance of my request to join them yesterday, I decide to spend my lunchtime with them rather than eat alone. Hanako moves surprisingly fast to meet her companion, and the two enter the hallway before I can catch up. Lilly's head turns slightly, registering the sound of footsteps behind her, as Hanako notices and follows her lead. She almost jumps in surprise.
Hisao? I mean, hello, Hisao.
Hi. Sorry if I startled you. Lilly turns to greet me, helped in her orienting by Hanako.
Good afternoon, Hisao. Are you joining us?
If it's no trouble, there's not much else to do really. Lilly gives a small nod, as if to silently brush away any idea that it would be troubling in the least. We descend one set of stairs and walk down the hallway to the usual room, our pace somewhat quicker than usual thanks to Lilly using Hanako for direction rather than her cane and the railings. As expected, it's deserted. The sounds of the other clubs can only barely be heard as sunlight streams into the room from outside. Looking around the room, I notice a couple of empty easels propped up against the wall that I don't think were there before. The art club must use this room as extra storage.
Should I get the chess set out?
Hanako's voice seems less tense when she's directly addressing Lilly.
Yes,
I'll make tea when you sort the pieces.
Oh, they play chess. Awesome.
Ah, I can do that for you if you'd like. She ponders the offer for a moment before smiling, confirming that I've made the right choice. Her face is remarkably easy to read. Very well, thank you.
Oh, the bow.
She slides her retracted cane into the handle of her bag and sets it against one of the table legs before taking a seat opposite Hanako. As I prepare for the tea for the three of us, I can hear the small wooden pieces being set on the board. I wonder how good Lilly is at chess, given her circumstances.
I'm guessing you'd have to say out loud where you put the pieces, right? Obviously, because otherwise Lilly won't know what Hanako moved, for example, which she moved where, which piece. So you gotta say out loud, like queen to g7, right? I'm just saying a random thing, but yeah. You probably have to see that, and then she's really imagining the entire picture of the board, how it changed with every single move and its current state. Has to be like in her mind. Dang, that's actually really impressive. By the time I place the steaming teacups onto the table, Lilly and Hanako have already moved their first pieces as they nibble on sandwiches and rice balls from their respective bags. I notice that the chessboard they're using has holes in the middle of each square and pegs on the bottom of the pieces, and each dark square slightly raised. Watching Lilly's fingers skating over the board, tracing out the position of the pieces, makes me marvel a little at the simple ingenuity of the design. It must be specifically made for blind players. Oh wow. I actually had no idea this existed, but you can't just, that's another thing, like, with blind people, their other senses are stronger, so once again, the touch cannot be underestimated. So this is actually a really good, I guess, sort of, added benefit or just help for blind players. So yeah, I mean, she can just sort of just feel around. I mean, she probably has a picture of what it's like, in her mind, the board, and then like, oh yeah, okay, these squares are empty, okay, everything is right, everything's set in place, done, nice. Here you go. Hanako gives a small nod as I put down the cup next to her side of the board. Lilly's hand ventures sideways, slightly, so I gently place the cup touching the tips of her fingers, a gesture she seems to appreciate. I finally take a seat and silently sip my tea as the two play. The contrast in their appearances while playing is interesting to watch. Is it me? Or from the picture, does it look like Hisao is extremely bored? He's like, oh my god, this again, they're playing chess. 2 people chess and I can't even join. Oh my god, I'm just bored out of my mind right now. Like, Hanako actually seems like to genuinely enjoy it, and she actually looks kind of happy. Lilly just looks, I guess, normal for her. Although we don't know too much for her to know what her normal is, but I'm just assuming. Hanako looks closely at the board, her face one of focused concentration. Lilly, on the other hand, keeps her head level and maintains her calm neutrality. Lilly's gentle voice addresses both of us as she continues to play. How was class, now that the festival's over? I look to Hanako to see whether she'll answer first, but see that she's doing the same. Not great. Half the class seemed to be dozing off, even including the teacher, not to mention a test on top of that. Hanako quickly adds her own agreement with this. I could imagine that being a bit difficult for you, being a transfer student. Well, I think I did fine. Other than the shock of a test coming so early, science is probably my best subject. How'd you do, Hanako? Me? Okay, I guess. Hanako's too sincere to be able to pull off lying very well. That much is obvious. Lilly's smile slips very slightly. From her reaction, Hanako mustn't be skilled enough at academics to do very well without preparation. How'd your class handle it, Lilly? It went surprisingly well, actually. Only one student was absent, which was better than what the teacher expected. With the topic all but run dry,
the two concentrate on their chess game once again. I can't say I ever liked the idea of chess as a spectator sport, but given its unique nature, for once I'm wrapped in watching the game unfold. As time wears on, both of them demonstrate decent skill at playing the game. Having captured 2 more pawns than Hanako, Lilly has the upper hands, but only slightly. I mean, this has gotta be one of the weirder games of chess, you know? Between the 2 people, they're only using one eye. Because I'm assuming that this is not meant anything bad, right? I'm just assuming always how I've seen Hanako is just that she covers the right part of her face, which has been, I'm assuming, scarred. Like it's always covered with her hair. Like she could be that her hair is that thin that she could look through her hair somewhat and can see with her right hair through her with her right hair. Yeah, right. With her right eye through her hair. But I don't know. From the picture, it looks like she's only using her left ear. Right. Okay, I should stop talking. And so Hanako makes a strange move with her queen. Seizing upon this lapse in judgment, Lilly takes the piece with her knight. Without hesitation, Hanako moves a pawn to take Lilly's rook on the opposite side of the board and promotes it to queen. Lilly's face falters as her fingers move over to the piece and she realizes that she just fell into Hanako's trap. It's a little distracting to have the board traced out after each move, even if it's out of necessity. Judging by Hanako's lack of reaction, she must be used to this. She and Lilly must have played at least a few games of chess against each other after all.
Check.
That's not bad at all. Nice, Hanako. Oh yeah. Hisao's looking at her like, damn, I'm impressed, girl. The compliment causes her to flower into a surprised blush.
Thank you. I didn't think it would work.
I look over to Lilly, her fingers having just finished tracing out the position of her remaining pieces in an attempt to extricate her king from this bind. I think this is checkmate. I take another look at the board to confirm. Sure enough, her king has nowhere to escape without being threatened by another piece. My earlier question as to which of them is better at this had just been answered. So it is. I don't know, you can't really judge from one game. Lilly gives a small sigh as Hanako smiles. From the reactions, this seems like a fairly usual result. How long have you two been playing?
Since I was young.
Lilly nods at Hanako's brief answer. Hanako taught me how to play soon after I met her. I can beat her every now and then, but that's a rarity. I don't seem to have the right mindset for it. If Lilly came to Yamaku at the start of high school and met Hanako when she moved to the dorms, you'd mean she's only been playing for about a year. After seeing Hanako's level of play, I'm not too surprised Lilly has trouble beating her.
But she's better at languages than I am, so...
Lilly gives an appreciative, if slightly amused, smile at Hanako's quick reversal of her compliments. Well, that's how it is. Much to everyone's surprise, the bell suddenly rings, heralding an end to the lunch break. That game lasted longer than I thought it did. Same. I guess we'd better go back to class. Hanako's already in the middle of packing up, so I take Lilly's bag and offer it to her. To my surprise, she takes it and nods, but then places it back down on the table.
Hisao, may I have a request?
Sure, go ahead.
Would you mind if I were to quickly feel your face?
Oh, no, go ahead. I don't mind. The question takes me severely off guard, but once I regain my composure, it seems sensible enough. So far, Lilly's had no idea what I actually look like, and this would be her only way to find out. Haha. Lilly raises her right hand, which I take in mine and guide to my face before letting go. The room is entirely silent as Lily's hand moves over and around my features, from my chin to my cheeks to everywhere else. I expected this to feel a lot more disquieting than it does. I suppose that's because the action is entirely a matter of practicality, being functionally no different to simply looking at someone's face. Her hand is soft, but what takes me by surprise is the length of her fingers, not to mention how sure even the slightest of her movements are. I have no doubt that her level of tactile feeling would be far beyond mine. Her hand briefly runs once through my hair before retreating. I'm sure that every inch of my face has been committed to her memory. It's only now, too, that I realize Hanako has been silently watching the entire time.
Thank you for letting me do that, Hisao. And if I might add, I think you are quite handsome.
Oh wow, yeah, she felt our handsomeness literally with her hands.
I blush a little at her remark before raising a questioning eyebrow. But if you can't see, how?
Just because I can't see doesn't mean I don't have my own preferences.
Like, oh yeah, this cheekbone feels ugly, but yours, Hisao, oh yeah, your nose actually feels handsome and pretty, and you don't have very thick cheekbones.
We'd better go now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess we'll see you later then, Lily. Walking through the hallways back to our classrooms, I notice that Hanako seems quieter than before, but also more comfortable. Lily, her hand on Hanako's shoulder, seems to pick up on her assured pace as well, smiling as they walk. If I could spend the rest of my time at Yamaku like this, I don't think it'd be so bad. All that's needed for joy are small exchanges of happiness after all. As I reach my desk and sit my bag beside it, I realize something, or rather, my stomach does. I was so busy with those two, I forgot to buy lunch. Yeah, my stomach is growling too. Saturday. My second most favorite day of the week. Okay, what is your first? For most people, it could be Friday, you know, kind of. Okay, a specific time after Friday. Friday after school, that's your most favorite part of the day of the week, I guess. This is almost entirely due to the fact that it is a day with the second least amount of school, with class ending at the beginning of lunch. I opened my door confidently, myself being more than confident of being able to get enjoyment out of the fine weather and shorter class length. I confidently stride down the hallway and down the stairs to the lobby of the male dorms. This is like a part of the dorms, I feel like, or a hallway, just, you know, an image that we haven't seen of it before. It's always either the image before where we walk out our door and then we either see Kenji or nothing happens or someone visits or something. That's when we see that image. But I feel like this one we haven't seen before. I confidently look behind me to see whose footsteps are approaching. I lose my confidence in this day being enjoyable.
Oh, I knew. Why is he here?
Hey man, sup? Not much, I guess. Just looking forward to the afternoon. You? This has gotta be like the Kenji theme song. You always hear this song when he's around or when you talk with Kenji. He wraps an arm around my slumped shoulders for far too comfortably. Something's up.
Let's step outside, shall we?
I was just about to, before you stopped me. He doesn't take my reaction to his theatrics well. Ignoring him, I walk outside and start down the steps. It doesn't take too long for him to catch up with me again. I wonder if he wants money, or to rant about another conspiracy. Maybe both. Donate to my crazy conspiracy.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Uh-huh.
It's about that blonde. You know who I'm talking about.
Conspiracy it is. For a moment, I contemplate feigning ignorance, but realize that this will go quicker if I just let him get it all out. Lilly? The one from your class?
You're on first name terms with her?
He looks positively shocked at this development. Did he not expect me to be able to answer? He gathers himself and coughs into his fist, dramatically, like everything else he does.
Well, never mind that. I'm here to warn you. You know, man to man.
Warn me about what? Lilly?
Yeah, you don't know her, man.
It's mostly true. I've only known her and Hanako for less than 2 weeks, and even then, we've just been exchanging banal chatter about school as we while away lunch. I'm pretty sure you don't either.
That's not the point. You're the one spending inordinate amounts of time with her.
It distresses me that someone like Kenji, who's probably as far out of the loop as one could possibly get, knows about such a trivial fact as I choose who to befriend. Then again, I am a transfer student, and she's not only the representative of their class, but also a tall blonde. Maybe I should appreciate this ranting as a warning that the rumor mill exists in this school, and that I'm firmly within it. It's just lunch, nothing special.
Look, man, under the bridge. See this bridge? You're under it. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do to get intel.
Is he calling me a troll?
I just want to make sure you don't end up too far under the bridge.
You're losing me, Kenji.
That's okay. Lots of people get lost. That's why I'm here to help. Just be careful around her, okay? She looks all harmless on the outside, but I've heard shit. Bad shit. You know the student council, right?
He seems to involuntarily shudder as he says the words. Putting him and Shizune together in a room is an amusing mental exercise. I wonder if they met. Yeah, Shizune and Misha are in my class. I seem to have dodged the draft though.
Good man, good man. But this blonde, she was there, in the student council, right damn there.
I see. And
she's not there now. Seriously, think about it. Something must have gone down.
I stopped walking for a moment, giving the idea more thought than I probably should. It would explain that the fight the two had, at least in part. Wait, no, not really. Even leaving the student council would need a catalyst. In the end, it doesn't explain much at all, other than the fact that their feud goes back some ways. I guess you have a point. I'm not seeing how that really affects me though.
Okay, now feel this one. Lilly's foreign, obviously, right?
Obviously.
Now, what nationality is she?
I opened my mouth to give an answer, but I realized that I have none. In fact, I've given the matter very little thought. Given that she has no accent and acts perfectly Japanese, I suppose it never really seemed important. Now that he mentions it though, I am rather curious. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe English? They like tea. Referring to stereotypes, yep. I probably shouldn't resort to stereotypes, but that's the only lead I have.
You're not thinking. Luckily, you have me here to think for you.
Gee, thanks. He brushes off the quip effortlessly.
Now, answer me this, man, who has lots of social power, is filthy stinking rich. You know, blondes are all rich, right? Has a long history of disputes, and used to belong to a much larger organization.
The Roman Catholic Church?
Well, okay, there's that. But there's also the Mafia. Come on, rich, foreign, there's no way she doesn't have connections to them.
I'm pretty sure most of the Mafia consider it comes from Italian descent mostly, right? That don't have blonde hair? I have reason to doubt the logic of his deductions, but he shows no sign of stopping.
So, do you know where I think she's from?
Italy?
Mainland Italy, small time, dude. She has to be from Sicily. All those mafioso types come from there. Wait, no, Russia. Damn, this could be bad. The mafia there is serious business, man. Ex-KGB everywhere. Paramilitaries, hardcore smuggling, and...
Wait, stop. Just slow down a second. What point are you trying to get at here?
You don't know what she'll do, man. I won't get in your way. Agents don't operate like that. But I just want you to be careful. When the time comes, we'll all need the help we can get. I don't want to lose you, comrade.
It seems like Morty's the one from Russia, what? Well, at least he's concerned for me. Kinda. I wave goodbye to him as we separate out of our respective classes, but I'm not sure that he sees the gesture.